The rules for the car are this. Your car must be Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a new part. So I'm going to go new, part. Once we create the new part, we're going to start a 2D sketch on the XY guide plane. So our grid should be there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our line tool, and we're going to draw a line that is 12 inches long. Okay? Once you hit enter on that, you can zoom out and get it so you can center it on the screen and you can see how big it is. All right. Now, the height of the car on the front, and I want to put my glasses on just to make sure that I get this correct, is 7/8 of an inch. So, at 7/8 of an inch, we're going to go up, and we'll just type in 7/8 and hit enter. Okay? Now, we're going to come back this way. Doesn't matter. We're just going to click, and then we're going to drag down here and click. I'm now going to use my dimension tool to click on the back here, and we'll type in the dimension for the back of the car at 2.75 inches. Okay? So 2.75. Okay? Once you have that shape drawn, we will hit Finish Sketch. And we will extrude that shape 1 5/8 inches. So we'll extrude it 1 space 5/8. So 1 5/8 and hit enter. Okay, so from there we have the basic block. Now what we need to do is we need to put a new sketch on this back surface. So we're going to start a 2D sketch on that surface. And we are going to put a 3/4 inch hole in the center of the back of this car. So again, we're going to touch our line up here until it turns green. We're going to drag down to start. I'm going to come over here to this line and drag down until that turns green as well. I missed it, didn't I? Huh. It doesn't like that, does it? Let's try this side. It's because this other line's on the front, and that's why it's not doing it. Anyway, all right, well, whatever. We'll just dimension it instead. All right, 3/4 of an inch, which is 0.75. Okay, now I'm going to have to dimension to the center here. So, how big was the back of the car again? Do you remember?
Not really.
You guys remember? Come on.
We already forgot.
Come on. How big is this?
2.75.
Right?
I said
2.75?
3.
So what's half of 2.75?
1.138.
No. Let's try this. Right? 2.75 divided by 2. Right? Remember? Okay, now that's in the center. We will hit Finish Sketch. We will extrude that. We will cut. And we will cut into the car. I believe that's 2 inches. But we're going to double check just to make sure. Two inches. Cut into the car 2 inches. Okay? Now you have your CO2 car blocked.
This is going to take so much storage.
Okay? Once you get this finished, save this on your drive as CO2 car block. Alright? Alright. We're going to stop there for now. So you guys can stop recording, because that's it. Okay, so, alright, so here's what we got to do now. First thing we got to do is we are going to now put a sketch on the side of the car. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to draw the shape of the car that we want. Alright? We can cut the top of the car and underneath of the car. Okay? So to do that, I want to see where the CO2 cartridge hole is, because I cannot cut into where the cartridge is. Because if you cut into the cartridge, you will be disqualified. So what I might want to do is look to see where that is. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to my View tool, and I'm going to go to Visual Style, and I'm going to look at a wireframe. And when I look at the wireframe, I can see clearly where the hole is. So I don't cut into that. Okay? So now I'm going to go back to my sketch tools, and I can either use a line tool, the arc tool, the spline tool, whatever you want to use to create your shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start outside the block. Start outside the block, and I'm going to create this. Now, every time you click the dot, it creates a point. Did you see what just happened there? That is something that really bothers me, and I don't know how to make that go away. But when I click a point, that plus minus sign kind of gets in the way. So you got to work around that a little bit. And that's really bothersome to me. But I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click and then check. Alright, now I'm going to do a little bit underneath the car as well. Only this time I'll just use a straight line under the car just so you can see. And I'll click like this and this. Okay? Now, I might cut a little bit more out from under here a little. So let me go ahead and I'll use my spline tool again. And I'll click a little, cut a little bit away under here. Alright, now, the rules for the car are this. The rules for the car are this. Your car must be between where the wheels are going to be, must be at least 1/2 of an inch thick. Okay? Because by the time we're done cutting it and sanding it, it'll be about 3/8 of an inch, and that's the minimum thickness is 3/8 of an inch. The axles that are going to go here and here when I put those in there, the axles have to be at least 6 inches apart. They can be more, but not less than 6 inches apart. And then the length of your car has to be at least 8 inches long. It can be between 8 and 12 inches long. Okay? So, minimum width for the car between the axles has to be 1/2 inch in your drawing. The axles have to be at least 6 inches apart, and the length of the car has to be between 8 and 12 inches long. Okay? The other thing is that you need at least 1/8 of an inch of wood covering the CO2 cartridge for safety reasons. Alright, so I want to go ahead and finish closing these circles, or these splines, so that I can cut that away. So in order to do that, I'm now going to just use my line tool, and I'm going to make sure I connect to the end, and I'm going to click up and around to connect that together. Okay? Now, I'm not sure. See how I overlap that? Alright, that is not good. So what I probably need to do is make sure those are connected. That's really important. Alright, I'm going to use my line tool here to click, click, and I will use my line tool here and there. Now, let's see, I didn't get that, did I? All right, so let me come back up here and close it. So it's important that those loops are closed. So now I will finish my sketch, and now I'm going to extrude, and I'm going to select that area, this area, and this area. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it all. And I'm going to hit OK. So now I've cut that. It is still in the wireframe mode. So I can go back up to my View, Visual Style, and do Shading. And now you can see the side view of your car. Okay? Alright, that's part 2. Go ahead and finish with that, and then we'll come back for part 3.
Like if you want to see me more videos.